Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Altar. Tonight, for now at least, you have Max, aka Caparado, and myself, Ben, aka what the fuck am I now? Base Insurgent guy? Yeah, that's
Whatever.
whatever. It's gonna change again, probably. It's yet another round of deletions and yet another bonsai charge
How
into
is
the.
it that I manage? I think it's just I avoid
I don't
talking
know,
about.
man. Probably because you
Well,
avoid you talking to Oxford comma was probably a risk. Like that probably got
yes.
you on the radar.
Yep. Yep. I but here's the thing, like I do not I am very strategic in that like I do not post overtly like racist or transphobic things.
Yeah, like I have before, but like this most recent time too, like I didn't. Like I was actually pretty clean my most recent iteration, and
Yeah,
I
I
really
have no
don't.
idea. What do you think
I
maybe
don't know.
would
I
be?
emailed them and they never emailed me back about it,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
and I don't plan on like ever hearing from them. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Aha,
Oh,
there he
there's
is.
Matt.
What it is.
Oh,
What
he's
it
coming in.
is.
I'm in here.
Yeah.
I'll be doing stuff. So what's going on, boys? We live?
We are
Yeah.
live. Yeah. Just did the intro talking about how I and you also got fucking deleted again.
Well, I'm fairly confident I know why. It's
Why?
because I made that joke about Michael Knowles saying like that the transgender community needs to be eradicated from public life. I was like, what are they gonna do? Vote about it? Like they're not gonna do anything. I'm scared. And so I got some like anonymous message from some guy, and he was basically ranting about like how he hated shrooms. He's like, but like voting does kind of work in the states that are passing legislation. And I posted that message, but I replied to, I'm like, yeah, voting might work a little bit in those states, but if you're in a blue state and you're trying to change that, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
And then it was like a couple hours later, you were terminated. Was my wife my wife sending me links to Crocs for babies? I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing
Hell
with that
yeah.
right now.
Hell yeah, brother.
How the fuck does a baby need Crocs? They don't even walk.
I
Like
don't
fuck
know.
them. They don't need shoes. Honestly, like let them be hobbits for the first few years of their lives. Let them develop the calluses, and then for the rest of their life, they don't need shoes. You know, it's a money saving process in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, deleted again. Had to
Mhm.
remake, and so I'm just starting to do Proton Mail with like literally my everyone. If I ever get deleted again, I'm just going with the Moonlit hyphen alter hyphen V and the current iteration of my fucking blog. It makes it very simple. If I disappear, you know where to find it. Just add one. If you can't add one, don't fucking follow my fucking blog. Get out of here.
Well, here's another thing: is you could easily if you just follow me, then I'll reblog your link. Everybody who follows Matt should follow me because apparently I can't get deleted.
Mm.
I don't know why.
Yeah, because you're a Fed. We've been
You're
over
a Fed,
this.
man. You think we don't know, but we know. We've known the whole time.
So, yeah, we were talking about how people should make more money. You should minimize your shelter expenses and your transportation expenses.
You
And
should
live below your
not
means.
pursue a degree in machine learning.
Machine leaning.
Leaning.
Machine leaning.
I missed
Leaning,
this whole
right.
exchange. What the fuck was that about? Like,
It was stupid, but basically, machine
But
learning
basically.
is the degree to have.
No, so it's some ANCOM that specifically made a side blog to argue with conservatives, but they're arguing with ANCAPs or trying
what?
to, but they're trying to be like higher ground about it in some sort of way, trying to be like, oh yeah, well whatever, blah blah. Like just like ANCAPs have no empathy. I'm like, I'm about to make that true. I'm about to make it true. Keep this
What?
up.
Wait. What is it? The
I
what's the
think
blog
it's
name?
God. It was like
Political
political
dipshit
dipshit
42069.
42069.
Oh yeah, he interacted with my post or my reblog recently, and yeah, I just like fucking mocked his reply, and he had nothing, I guess, to retort to me with, so, or he just doesn't care, whatever it is.
It was funny
But
because he brought up the whole like, and this was actually a nice segue into another topic, like a more like personal type beat. Get into, I'll connect it, but like he brought up like she meant to say machine learning, a degree in machine learning. As me, and I'm currently I am getting a degree in computer science with no concentration because I like to be a little flexible, right? But the concentration is bullshit anyway. But I'm like, for someone to say degree in machine learning is a little off to me
Yeah.
because you should
it's
technically be saying in
doesn't
computer
exist.
science.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's computer science with a
like,
focus.
with the focus, the concentration of machine learning. And he made, and from the basically he just keeps giving information that gives more red flags to me, that like he just got a job, entry level job as a quality engineer in machine learning, making like 110,000. I'm not saying it's impossible. It is possible. It's slim for a new graduate that might not have, because if you didn't even do internships, then technically this is his first job in the field or whatever.
Mhm.
But so like let's just play that like fine, sure, whatever. I doubt it because the tech market for jobs that are paying that much, it's like hardish. You got how many applicants and what area you're
Well,
living in? He's probably got a high population, but he
yeah,
also
I bet it's thousands of people per application.
brought up that he just got the job and Ben like Sunday, right? So, and Ben was like post pay stub. So the normal response from someone that just got a job is like, well, I don't have a pay stub yet. I don't, because I didn't start like actually get, like I haven't worked long enough there to get it. No, they come back with, I'm not posting it.
Yep.
Well, yeah, well you don't have it because you just started. So that's
Exactly.
another red flag to me. But we was comparing like, oh yeah, I make more money than you guys, which is funny because I'm like, we don't care. Good, that's a good thing because you're not really a commie. You're these typical champagne
Somebody decided that you
socialists.
actually contribute to society.
Also, I thought it was kind of funny that like it was like an equal argumented playing field until he finally accepted that I might actually make more than him, and then he called me a class traitor like immediately. It's like, oh, okay, there it is. That's the difference between normal person and class trader, whether or not you make more money than the person making the accusations.
It was funny because he also brought up, he said, well, like it's only like this, like it's like a beginner job. He's like, I'll just be moving like up from here. I'll be making more, which normally is true. I just don't believe. I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
And that's assuming there's not another wave of tech layoffs.
Oh, it's a massacre, right? And it's like, imagine if you've got, 6-7 years of experience coming from Meta and programming. Nominally, at least, you're writing script or, refining algorithms day to day. And what is the machine learning of the advertisement algorithm or moderation algorithm at Meta or something like that, and you got laid off, and it's like that person isn't going to get hired before like some fresh grad. Like I don't get it. Doesn't make sense. Because like the massacre is real in tech jobs and like across the general economy. Like yeah, people and unemployment is finally, and even in the official numbers, rising because they were covering up the numbers before.
But the other thing,
they were counting like part-time. If you had 2 part-time jobs, they were counting that as 2 jobs relative to the number of employment seekers, and so it was like artificially making the employment rate look really high because a lot of people are getting part-time jobs on the side, even though they already have a single job. And then, but like the actual number of unemployed people is just going way up. It's the people playing Call of Duty on fucking fentanyl all day.
For real.
But the whole price, like the salary comparison, was reminded me of a story because it's like I like when people do that. It's like we didn't even bring that up. We just we're calling you poor. If you're making more money, that's good. We want you to, because you're actually like you're like that's what we want because
eventually you'll figure out that like you don't want that money taken from you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're making that much and you see once he gets that first pay stub, it'd be funny if he posted it like, you know what? I am an ANCAP now because look at the taxes taken out.
For fucking real, seriously.
Well, no, the story was so like more of a personal thing. I was talking to a buddy named Matt. We're out eating, a little bro date, nothing too romantic.
At the Matt convention.
But he was talking about, he's like, hey man, like, how would you feel if your brother made more than you? I'm like, I wouldn't care. What's that? He's like his brother got in the fire department or something, and like was making more than like my buddy Matt, who's been working for whatever for years. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna be comparing your job, which is different than his, and the salary of each, you're never gonna be happy.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. All right, well, I got to be right back because the kids are waking up. So you guys continue.
Oh wow.
Oh man, yeah. So good luck with the kiddo. But the the comparison, like unless you're in the same job, in the same company, in the same town, there's no reason to compare your salary to somebody else, right? Because
for the most part,
all three of those factors are individually going to determine your salary, right? But it is worth noting that what I think it's something to aspire towards, that if you should look up what the BLS like income statistics are for your area, and you should look at those and say to yourself, am I about in the median, or am I above average or below average or something like that? And you should say to yourself like, oh, I could be doing something else, doing something better. And like you need to try out, this is my strategy at least, and it worked for me. You need to try out a lot of jobs. You need to do a lot of different things and see where you excel and get promoted. And if a job's not working for you after like 3 or 6 months, like it's fucking business, right? That like there's no commitment where you're like okay, do what you're asked to do, but if it doesn't fucking work for you, start looking for another job. It doesn't fucking matter. Like it's literally business. It's nothing personal.
Oh,
so
you're just a businessman doing business.
Yeah. And it's like I love the people from like other jobs that I worked when I was like ski instructing and like being a kayak guide and shit like that. I loved those jobs, but it's not like I'm fucking like I'm just like, yeah, sorry, I'm not coming back this summer. I got a real job because I actually excel at doing this thing.
Bye-bye.
So bye.
Welcome back, sir.
Son is a dick.
Tips weren't great. Those are
well,
nice.
He takes after you.
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm like, it's weird. I'm like, because they've months, like, right? My kid, like my three boys never wake up at least this early. Like one of them might around, like basically an hour or two from now. So I'm like, what the fuck? So like, what's going on up there? And I'm like, I get up, my two youngest boys are up, and then Jake's like, oh, hey, what's going on? In like a questionable manner. I'm like, were you talking loud to wake them up? And he's like, no. He's like, don't check the camera. I was like, ooh. And I was like, because they went back to sleep. It was like he must have been doing something up on the top bunk because we let him stay up an hour later because he's older. So he might have been there bored, like, I wonder if I could wake him up to have a good time. But anyways, to finish off the last part, to connect it to your life, if you're constantly connecting, try to like compare your life to others, you're never gonna live a good life. Just don't. Just worry about you. And if someone's doing better than you, just be happy for them. It's simple as that. Might be hard. Unless you hate them, just kill them in Minecraft. Other than that, if they're a good person, decent person, just don't compare. Like, because I have a very happy life because I don't compare my shit to my brother. Because my brother's a cop, and I'm like, I feel better about myself that I'm better than him. Like, I don't care that he makes more than me.
Immediately, you're just like improvement.
Yeah. I'm not a welfare queen. Very very simple. So yeah, so there's that for the motivational speech of the evening.
What else did we say we'd talk about?
There was some new footage released about the Jan 6th thing.
Oh yeah. So okay, I don't remember if I don't think I was on the podcast as a regular at that point, was I?
I don't think so.
I don't think
It
so.
was. I think it was right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
immediately after. Okay, so like I remember being in like a group chat with all of my like college friends and just laughing my fucking ass off
Right?
about January 6th. I was like, "Holy shit, this is hilarious." And like it's such a clown show. And like never in my mind did I perceive this as like, "Oh, the US government was about to be overthrown," you know?
Seriously, it was just like, oh my goodness, let's just trash the place.
Like it's some fucking like I think it's bizarre to me that in the liberal or normie mindset that you know apparently the United States federal government and control of our military and our nuclear arsenal and all that shit is a game of king of the hill where if you get enough people to occupy some particular building regardless of the election, the military will just obey them at
Oh,
some
for
point.
real? Yeah. Like if you have one more person than the government, then the military obeys you.
It's just how it works. Very
So,
simple.
did you guys see like the only thing I've seen was like it's footage of like the Q shaman dude with like the fucking like the antlers is being like led
Yeah,
around the Capitol by the Capitol
he's
Police.
escorted by
And
Capitol
they're just
Police.
like, yeah, this is how you get in this way. This is the door to the, oh, this one's locked. All right, we'll try another one. Like, they're trying to get him into the chamber.
They're showing him the way into the
Yeah.
Senate.
It's like, what the fuck?
I saw some other video where I don't know where they were. It seemed like they were kind of like on a roof or a layer of the roof or something like that, where a bunch of people were just standing there doing jack shit. But like one or two people were trying to break in, and then a couple other like normal unmasked like protesters came up and stopped them.
Oh.
Like, whoa, like, hey, like, don't be doing that, right? Because the one dude that was trying to break in had a fucking police baton, which was very interesting. Like, I was like a red flag to me. I'm like, yeah, have like, then there was another video of one of the Metro, like the DC area cops. Like, they fucking set us up. They like, because they told like, oh yeah, we don't need a lot of people, apparently, which
And,
we
like,
already knew.
I read another one. It was mostly just like a little blurb, but supposedly like there was one DC police who was like, yeah, our supervisors were all like AWOL at the time, which is kind of weird. Like there were huge gaps in the chain of command.
For that one day.
Yeah.
They all had to take time off, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, they were in the crowd, so. Could you imagine the amount of double overtime some federal employees made that day?
Oh yeah,
I'm actually a little jealous. Like,
new conspiracy theory is that the police that were told to stay to stay home because we didn't need them. They went. They are the ones that instigated it, because they knew they'd get that OT.
Exactly.
They'd be called in.
They wanted that.
Like, oh, I'm right down the road. I could be there in 2 minutes.
This is a very common pattern with the FBI, right? Is that like, oh shit, there's not enough terrorist attacks. We need to, or like we don't have enough intel about terrorist attacks. This is the normie explanation. So they're like, oh, we're gonna like solicit to try and find people who are vulnerable to committing terrorism, and we're gonna solicit them and see if we can coax them into it. And so we're a honeypot to get these people before they can actually commit some harm. Check fucking Oklahoma City bombing on that one. But and the shoe bomber out in whenever that was back in the day. But like this, when this fucking actually happens nowadays, it's like what was the Michigan governor Whitmer?
Oh, Whitmer, yeah, we're like a
kidnapping
bunch of
plot.
Yeah.
Leatherface. Yeah.
It was literally like 85% feds in the room, just trying to all coax each other into this kidnapping plot. And there's like 4 regular dudes that all probably have a learning disability
to some degree.
To some degree. And they're just like, yeah, we'll go wrong with that. By the way, like, yeah, so everybody jokes about me being a fed. If somebody's telling you to commit a felony, they are fed. Okay?
Exactly.
If they're like,
really
oh,
cool.
bro, we're gonna do something so cool. We're gonna kidnap somebody or just some. No, it's not happening.
Just don't do it.
We're gonna build a bomb.
No.
It's not happening.
Not if it sounds like it's a really cool bomb. Just don't do it.
Honestly, actually, they might let you, or they might give you a real bomb and let it happen just so that they can have an excuse. Like notice election cycle years when Democrats are down in the polls. That they might let you get away with a mass shooting or two, even though they have this entire surveillance network constantly monitoring us. They somehow can't figure out that somebody's been telegraphing that they want to commit a mass shooting for years in advance, and they can't investigate that person. But it seems like every other year, whenever there's an election, it'll happen.
Of course.
Oh, I don't know why there's a chat just coming through. Okay. Anyways, have we been looking at the chat on YouTube? Let's read YouTube comments.
Yeah, I've been checking some stuff. I guess
stirring the masses.
Barely. Some stuff. I keep saying. Oh, so like so part of the reason me being late is like my wife wants to work out now, so she's done being pregnant. She's like, I'm gonna start working out.
Done being pregnant. She gave
birth.
Finished.
Yeah, I'm done. Done being popping out babies.
Oh, so are you deciding 4 is the final number?
Yeah, 4 was decided before we were even married.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Like up to 4, because she wanted a boy and a girl, and if we had a boy and a girl, we would have stopped then.
Oh, well,
we had that. I talked. We had all that figured out 2 or 3 weeks into the relationship.
Nice. Okay.
So, like I said, you gotta do it, dude. Don't waste time. So, so she came upstairs. She was all sweaty, and then she put her chest on my head, and I was like on the couch. I was like, oh yeah, like playing around. Or she's clothed, right? She's in this like the sports bra, whatever. And then as I'm doing it, I remember my oldest son is sitting right next to me.
Whoop.
So I push her off. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to push mommy away because she's stinky. And he's like, no, she's not. I'm like, dude, just agree with me, okay?
Silence, boy.
Whatever. And she's like, how'd you forget he was there? I'm like, I get distracted easily. I'm a man, all right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, to be fair, I forgot he was there too when you started. It's like,
no, she walked up to the couch. Like, what is your son like a curb? A woman can't see it.
What? No, we have a sectional, and she came up behind me, right? So like behind the couch, like whatever, leaned over. But I had the lights off. The only thing was like illuminating the living room was the TV. So it was like kind of dark, and he was just like chilling off in like the corner, like 2 feet away from me. And I'm like, oop. Like I see, I get whatever in my face, and everything else is out of my views.
Dude, I gotta say, just an aside, since you were mentioning lighting situations, are you happy with your lighting situation in your like office area there? It just looks like a fluorescent light going on.
It is a shitty Walmart light that you can see. Look, let's take a little look. That's what I got going on.
Oh man, you can't even change the bulb out for like a warm color bulb.
I could.
Oh, do you want to look more white? Is that why you chose?
Yeah, to confuse people. But I'm getting called, so.
Okay.
You can just hear it a little bit in the background too every time.
No, I can hear it just a touch. Okay, he did not mention any of the YouTube comments. Okay, Lord of Towers says, too bad we missed the beginning of that story. Hail to the overlords of voluntarism. You said, what up? My wheelbarrow is totally tricked out. A total money pit.
Wherever that
okay.
means.
Where we were talking about cars or something like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, wheelbarrows.
To flex. Is it a coincidence that Matt's beard resembles one of those from the Akkadian sculptures? Winky face from Matt. I like that. Yeah. LOL from Lord of Towers. Learned to chode. Ooh, that is a good comment.
That's a
I
good
like
one.
that. Nepotism hire. I was floor manager for Circuit City for 10 years. Sure, feel free to contact their HR from John Otter. Reminds me of one of my ex's friends. Must be within the context of our conversation. Okay, John Otter says this show becomes a respite from the congressional hearings. I hope so.
Yeah.
If you are watching congressional hearings, I need you
Why?
to know that your time is more valuable than that. You need to do
You will
something
gain
else with your life.
absolutely nothing from watching those hearings. Why you're wasting any time doing that? Just stop. Just stop it and get some help.
Stop. Like, yeah, do anything else. Like, watch a self-help podcast. Like, it could even be a bad one, and you'd still get way more out of it.
Exactly.
Honeypot to the honeypots, says Lord of Towers. Okay.
Sure.
Maybe
Whatever
so.
that means.
Yeah. No, I am suspicious that like Babylon B. Have you noticed this?
What?
Babylon B and like Fee, the Foundation for Economic Education, Reason have all been hiring a lot of young women for their like public facing media personalities. Have you noticed this?
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know,
Short for this.
most of these like quote unquote libertarian publications were not that good on the pandemic and
No, they were
lockdowns and
not.
masking.
Here you go, Max.
And
Are you happy now?
Looks exactly the
you
same.
look the same.
It's there. It's a warm, dude. Look at it. It's warm, baby. It's
Sure.
warm.
Okay, whatever your camera setting is, it still treats it like it's a 6000K light bulb or something like that.
You're a.
You look like a
6,000K.
fucking vampire in that light.
Dude, I'm actually kind of pale because I haven't got any sun yet. But it might be something that just something like how the camera hits it. I don't know. Whatever. It looks sick. But I'm not sick.
John Otter reports that he's been repotting dragon fruit while hearings were on in the background. I need to tell you that you should be listening to like
Anything else?
anything else. Yeah.
Freeform
You could be watching
jazz.
Girls from HBO and
You
learn
could-
more.
Yeah, like you
That's
could
a
listen to
statement.
just like 10 hours of whales humping, whatever you want, just as long as it's not the hearings.
Try an audiobook, like something from like any author you might think is interesting. Arthur Herman is a great historian, and he has a great set of books that you'll learn a lot from. Do that instead of looking at Congress. We need to de-emphasize Congress. I have been on a big secession kick in the last like couple weeks. How do you feel about secession?
Oh, I'm all for
What
that.
do you think is what do you think is the best? Would you like a 50-state secession, or would you like confederations? Maybe like we end up with not two Americas,
See,
but
what
like
I think is going to happen is like
3
we're
or
going to have
4 or
something
5.
like where the Soviet Union kind of dissolved and like shrunk back to like Russia, and then like the satellite states just kind of broke apart. I think we'll kind of have that, like all the states will technically at one point just be like states, and some of them will choose to like partner up or do whatever, but like that's probably how it's going to start.
Well, okay, so since we make up 2/3 of the podcast right now, I am very supportive of a mountain time union, basically. Montana,
100%.
Idaho, Nevada, Utah, western part of Colorado,
Wyoming.
Wyoming, Nevada, Arizona, or I already said Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico, particularly the western or not city parts of New Mexico, but that union would work great, I think.
I think we should like that, like not all 50, just a section, like break it up into sections to start at least.
No, I mean California,
stuck in the New Jersey Empire.
California could easily be its own country. Oregon and Washington could easily be their own country. And then
Texas
we
is
talked
its
about
own country.
the mountain states. Yeah, Texas is its own country. The South, the old Confederate states minus Texas, basically, should be their own country. And the Union, the North, should be its own country, minus, I think, maybe the Midwest
Max,
might do their own thing.
I'm going to stop you right there because how dare you? If the South was all together by slavery would come back. We can't let that happen. We need to stay as a union.
Georgia would become Libya under the rule of Hillary Clinton.
I remember someone saying that when I was like, "We got to break up," secession, like some crazy left leaning guy. That he was like they would bring back slavery and like Jim Crow laws and shit. I'm like, okay, let them. Assuming that it would even happen, right? Because the thing is, how you get them to not do it is to say you won't do business with them. They can't do all their business within the state, right? They gotta fucking branch out somewhere. They don't have everything they need in that state. So if they need something from Illinois, for example, Illinois is like, well, I kind of don't like your shit, so I'm not going to sell anything to you. They're going to change their shit real fast because money is power, baby.
Yep. Now, I mean, from an economic perspective, there is an argument that the blue states will have a leading advantage into secession. But I think there is a vast underprice of oil and gas within the United States because of the federal subsidy for oil and gas production and the suppression of it within blue states. So places like Wyoming and Texas are instantly going to turn into Norway-style welfare states where the entire government is funded by petro funds, like Saudi Arabia, where they're talking about building fucking, mega block, 100 block wide, 100 stories high apartment, mega cities and shit like that. Like, Texas is going to end up like that, under a situation which I think, Texas and Wyoming and frankly, Colorado and Alaska should join OPEC in a post-United States situation. And we should be, driving up the price of oil. And within, it'll be, we have very cheap gas in the United States compared to the European Union and other Western economies where oil's in high demand because we actually produce things compared to the third world. Well, we still do. Like,
just
if you look at the, it's just automation, really. Like, the United States just has way too.
There he goes.
Automation rate. Oh man, we produce more physical goods now than we did in the 70s.
Well, that's good.
There's just fewer jobs in it, which is a good thing. I think, the fewer people have to sit in factory lines is the better, right?
True.
It's sad for people who don't want to cultivate their skills and are dumb. So sorry, poor people.
You just got to stop being poor. That's just the whole thing.
Yeah. Indiana's best export is deep state senators and governors from John Otter. I agree, right? Like, where's Ford? Gerald Ford was he from Indiana or was he from like another state? Gerald Ford was like the fucking he was born in Nebraska. Gerald Ford was the fucking like CIA guy to replace Reagan, and fucking like I watched the interview with Malice and what's his name, the Nixon guy. He's got the giant Nixon tattoo on his back.
Oh God, Roger Stone.
Roger Stone, thank you. Roger Stone appeared on Malice, and I agree with a lot of criticisms of Nixon, and when it comes to the drug war, and when it comes to coming off the gold standard, but Nixon got us. He ended effectively the military draft. He opened up trade negotiations with China, and he was going to end the war in Vietnam. And then this impeachment shit happened to him. And Gerald Ford, if people don't know this, Gerald Ford was the head of the House Committee on the intelligence. So he was the CIA's guy, basically, in the church hearings and stuff like that, arguing that, oh, the CIA did nothing wrong. And so basically, I am very now much convinced that the CIA framed Richard Nixon so that they could get rid of him because he was anti-war and he was pro-peace and he was pro-trade and he was pro having America be wealthy because we could get cheap shit from China, which makes us wealthy. I'm sorry if you don't understand economics that getting cheap shit makes you wealthier. And so the CIA framed him because they wanted to have a forever war in Vietnam. They eventually got that when the CIA director's son, George W. Bush, became president, and they were able to have a forever war in Iraq and Afghanistan. That ended about a year and a half ago. But now they've got a new forever war in Ukraine. So as long as Raytheon and General Dynamics and Boeing can sell a completely infinite amount of weapons that the taxpayer pays for, everything's great.
Of course, yeah. And as long as we keep sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, everything is also good.
They could just send me $5. That's all I want. It's like maybe 10 billion. I don't know.
I'd like a tip. You know,
just a little tip. I like some tip. Some tip would be nice.
Just a tip, see how it feels.
Just a tip. Just see how it feels. Actually, yeah.
So like this, there's more Twitter file stuff. I guess 12 hours ago that I sent you on Instagram.
Yeah, they I read it a little bit. They were just I guess they had a policy where even if what they're saying is true, we can still censor it because they might be using it to sway opinions. And it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that first one is that true content, which the bullet point is true content, which might promote vaccine hesitancy. It's viral posts of individuals expressing vaccine hesitancy or stories of true vaccine side effects. This content is not clearly mis or disinformation, but it may be malinformation, exaggerated or misleading. Also included in this bucket are often true posts which could fuel hesitancy, such as individual countries banning certain vaccines. It's wow.
Wow.
I'm not surprised by it. What's going to be, I would be surprised if this dropped and anyone on the left was oh my God. Well, there's probably some people on the left that are borderline, but the diehard, masks work, vaccines work, whatever crowd, this doesn't do anything for them. They don't care.
Exactly.
Well, we needed people to get vaccinated.
This isn't stringent enough.
Well, wait, did you see the polling in the United Kingdom that young people is over 80% of millennials and Gen Z said that the government was not strict enough during COVID lockdowns.
Oh my God, I hope they all fucking die. In Minecraft.
YouTube
censors. Almost missed that one.
I just saw something on YouTube this morning. They did an update for their swearing standards, I guess, the swears you're allowed to say or how you're allowed to say it. I didn't actually watch it because I don't care. I'm not following
on
the rules.
Twitter about
No, on
swearing?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
Oh.
Well, they did something, I want to say a month or so ago, that they updated it to where if you, I think they changed the policy from then, but then this is the new thing you're talking about. But originally, they were changing it to where if there's a swear word within the first 15 seconds, you're demonetized. on that video. But after that, it's fine. Which makes, like, I guess, like, if she says, hey, everybody, this is going to be an episode where we swear a lot. So, if your kids are around, they can go fuck themselves. Because it's past 15 seconds now, bitches. What's up, what's up? It's Matt, it's Ben, it's Max. We getting racist as shit. Here are the slurs. You know what I mean?
Word, exactly. But, like,
I had a lot of fun explaining slurs for the French today with my girlfriend. Anyways.
Really, off topic, kind of. Max, do you have any other questions? Are you still dating that girl, by the way? Or did I miss something?
No. Okay, so my girlfriend who used to live with me and would walk around in the background.
No, not that
own
one.
Place.
Yeah.
No,
not that one. What was the, like, two episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, like like questions from 4 anarchists from a non-libertarian or something? What was that bit about? You were asking questions from some lady. Whatever. Forget about it. I'm not gonna push it.
Oh no, that was her. Yeah.
That was her.
Yeah, she's a poli-sci major. She's very interested in.
Yeah, that one.
Like,
so she's gone.
No, that's my
No,
girlfriend.
that's her. That was I actually met her last Saturday.
Okay, that's what I was talking about. I'm like, any more questions? I thought she was like gone. I'm like, oh shit! Like, I missed something in the boys' chat. I'm like, I'm not gonna push this because we're like, Matt, how dare you bring up some whatever bullshit?
How dare you?
Okay, yeah, no. My girlfriend from the last 3 years, basically. Yeah, we had a spat, and we're back together. And
okay, cool.
So
this is the same one. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, right. And speaking of Ben met her. Yeah, I met Ben. Actually, was a cool thing.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's bullshit because I didn't get. You guys said you met. Not a selfie. There's no selfie.
I thought about that afterwards. I was like, "Fucking."
And
as soon as I got into the car and was like a block away, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Here's from my angle, boys. Is that I get a message saying like, "Oh yeah, we met each other over the weekend and we got a handy." I'm like, bullshit. Provide pictures of the handy. I don't care about your faces together in one picture. I want to see the handy. Oh, we don't have it. Yeah, if that ain't real, this whole thing ain't real. Fuck out of here. Yeah, one of these days when I get some freedom, when the kids grow up, and I could be like, all right, wife, take care of them all by yourself. You'll be all right. I'm gonna come out and visit all you.
Kids can basically take care of themselves once they're like, you know.
Dude, my oldest can right now, man. Like he's got it locked. Like he do.
How old is he?
A lot of shit. He's 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I mean, could he make himself like dinner? You know.
Not really, but we got snacks. He could open a bag, you know. Here's some goldfish, bro. You're good.
I think, try to cultivate those cooking skills early on. Because, as soon as a kid knows how to make themselves food, like, they can survive almost indefinitely on their own. It's like a cat. You just
like he knows how cereal's made. Like, it's just that he can't reach the cereal because it's so high up. Like it's taller than me. Like my wife can barely reach it. Like, so it's like what. But like he would know how to make cereal if like we're like, hey, here you go, here's the shit, like pour it all together. He could use a toaster. He's helped me make eggs. Because basically, like, I don't stop the kids because I want them to, like, if they're curious, like if they're curious, like, hey, like let's do it with like,
you got to get your kids cooking. My mom's boyfriend, I'm legitimately worried about. I think he has disordered eating. It's not like an eating disorder. Sorry, it is an eating disorder. It's not anorexia or bulimia or something like that. It's just disordered eating, in that he fucking only eats peanut butter.
I might know that guy. I got a buddy that like loves peanut butter. Anything peanut butter, he's all over it.
No, I'm saying like he legitimately will like only eat something if there's peanut butter on it. And okay, his 3 foods are ketchup, peanut butter, and teriyaki sauce. So basically anything has to be slathered in sweet shit for him to try and eat it.
Is he autistic?
I bet. I mean,
yeah,
probably.
So that means that his maybe his mom. like his mom was a picky eater during the pregnancy, or encourage, like, let him be picky in childhood, because that's like that's that's like a weird thing. Like, I'll eat anything, literally
Yeah,
anything.
no, same. No, he doesn't touch vegetables. He's never had a salad.
Is he Ron Swanson? What's going on? It's good.
Well, I mean, he's skinny. He's really light.
Yeah, he sounds like he's got got a hint of autism at least.
Yep.
Yeah, my kids
No,
my
it's
kids will
just
eat
like
anything. So
like if I had kids and they wouldn't eat just like anything, you know, like they couldn't go to a restaurant and just order off the fucking menu. This is one of the things that drives me crazy. It's like when I'm with somebody and they just can't order off the fucking menu. It's like this is what people eat, you know? Like you think you're special enough to fucking go to some like, you know, middle class restaurant where like they're just they make nice food with good ingredients, but you got to order off menu because you're fucking special.
Of
Like
course.
what the fuck is wrong with you? And this is coming from I used to work I bussed tables, I waited tables, and I worked as a cook at
I was
a
gonna say this
restaurant.
seems very close to home.
Yeah.
I used to for 3 months when I was 16, I worked as a busboy at my mom's friend's restaurant, and I didn't get paid because the dude couldn't handle money correctly, and I didn't have a bank account to find out sooner that the check was going to bounce. So it was a gay for me. I'm like, it's about the exposure, you know. Think of the exposure you're gonna get from this, Matt. No, never be busboy again.
What do we
Dude,
say?
there's so many restaurateurs, you know, people trying to start restaurants that just don't understand how fucking money works. There's too many people that don't understand how to fucking
No,
balance a checkbook.
here's the thing. This was the guy's like 8th fucking restaurant by the time I was 16, right? He's a fucking fantastic cook, great fucking cook. All the shit he makes, delicious, right? He just is shit with managing money. Complete shit. Because he had some fucking 10th or 11th place a couple of years ago that was popping, like always fucking busy and shit. But he's probably because he had like a coke problem, back on coke or something. I'm like, dude, you're like 60 at this point. Like, stop.
Too old for that shit, man.
But
It's holes in your heart, like for real.
Yeah.
Like,
what was funny when I worked as a busboy, like I was working like normally I was working like I like a couple of like the Mexican guys, because obviously the Mexicans were cooking the food in the back, right? Based off of it's a shit. But one day there was like a private party thing going on. And I walk in there to go like, you know, bringing the dishes and shit. And one of the Mexican guys looks at me and starts talking in Spanish. I'm like, no hablo español, and he laughs. And the other guy, like, I'm apparently in Spanish, told him like, no, that's like, you know, a white guy. He doesn't know shit. And he's like, really? He's like, really? Like they thought I was fucking Mexican, which is a surprise. Like everyone does. Yeah. Hola, ¿qué pasa, mi amigos?
Oh, now you speak Spanish. Okay.
Yeah, I speak a little.
We're just talking about fucking Spanish. Like it's just some made up language they speak in Puerto Rico.
All languages
in Puerto Rico.
Pores of Rico, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, so actually this is fucking funny with this Vince guy, the owner that can cook, terrible with money. He fucking what he would do, and this is just a problem with capitalism. I'm an ANCOM now when I'm talking about this. Is that because he like had the trademark name for the restaurant, so every time his restaurant failed, like he would still use a variation of the name.
Oh, so like every time his blog would get deleted, he'd come back with like a similar variation.
Yeah, but with new investors, because he'd always get investors, right? Like they're like, yeah, I make great food. Like, yeah, he'd make up bullshit of why the last restaurant failed. He's like, oh yeah, the location wasn't right or something, and he would always sucker fucking investors, and he did this for like 6 fucking restaurants or something, and then finally, because he's not that smart. Like he was smart enough to trick people, the dumb people into investing. But he got like someone to invest, like, oh yeah, just sign this, read this contract and sign it. And he's just like, oh, I'm getting money. So he didn't read it. He fucking signed away his rights to the name.
Oops.
Right? And he didn't realize it. And he didn't read like all of it, like all of it. So what happens when the restaurant closed? He went to go open with new investors and shit with the same like, well, whatever the variation of the name. And like, oh no, you can't because you sold this to the this group. And he was like, oh, what the fuck? I'm like, well, you're stupid for not reading the contract. Maybe that's why I'm an ANCAP from these early on life lessons, because I was like 16 at the time I heard about this. I'm like, Jesus, how are you that dumb that you don't read the shit you're signing?
For real, those early life lessons that other people learn around you, you're just like, man, I can't be that dumb.
Yeah, like he can't. He could. It was his family name, and he couldn't even use it anymore.
Wow.
So that's what was fucking funny about it.
To quote somebody else, if only you had met this mindset before you became a single mom.
Yeah. Terrible, bro.
I'll be right back.
I wonder if he still like I should go see if he has a fucking 15th restaurant open by now. I would love to walk in there because apparently because he was a bigger guy, but my mom went in there like before this last place closed down, and he was like thin the fuck out and clearly like probably back on coke. And I'm like, I should find if he's opened a new place, go in there, be like, hey man, you owe me for those 3 months back when I was 16, and see if he'll fight me about it, so I could sue him for like the $5 to his name.
Speaking of, no, I was just gonna say, speaking of money being donated by investors, we could talk about Ukraine and how they're now responsible for blowing up the pipeline.
Yes, we can. Oh no, because that's what the U.S. is saying, because they're deflecting.
Yeah, exactly. The U.S. is finally like, oh yeah, it actually may look like Ukraine blew up the pipeline, and it's like that's a huge signal that they're ready to be like, all right, Ukraine, do what you can from this point.
Well, no, because what they said was that it was a pro-Ukrainian group. Mm-hmm. There wasn't Ukraine, that it was a group that was pro-Ukrainian. I'm like, you're telling me some random fucking group was able to go out into the waters, random group, and CIA. Fucking blow up this pipeline. Yeah. Well, the CIA is a pro-Russian, a pro-Ukrainian group, right? Pretty
sure.
So it's like you expect me to believe that? Well, going back to the fucking like this kind of like line of thinking, like stupid shit, is kind of the same to me as these as the response to Tucker Carlson with the January 6th tapes.
Yeah.
Because all the response was like, oh, like and the articles about it with what was it, like with the one like Tucker Carlson was trying to say that the like this didn't happen, and he's trying to say that you should not believe your eyes and ears. I'm like, well, I saw what he was showing.
Oh,
I
like
believe
people were
what
quoting,
I see.
like 1984 and shit.
Yeah, I mean, like Whoopi Goldberg on The View quoted 1984, but talking about like this did happen. Like this did happen because an officer testified on for the January 6th committee. I'm like, oh yeah, the guy that fucking couldn't have possibly lied under oath, because he probably figured the video would never fucking see the light of day.
Exactly, because the DOJ was actually withholding it.
That's the funniest shit, is like you literally, like, I've seen, because we already talked about what we saw in the videos. It's like you see that shit and you're really gonna go back to the testimony, like, well, he was under oath. I'm gonna believe that instead of a video. And stupid ass Whoopi. How much do you weigh right now? Like 400 pounds, 450?
420. Blaze it.
Oh, bait. Oh, it makes sense, for the complexion. This episode's getting deleted now.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was it right there.
Yo, timestamp this. I'm gonna wipe it.
7:22.
Another thing, off topic, more podcast related. I like that I took the effort to clear my name out of the border and presented you with the streams.
And I'm still using the old border.
I hate you so much.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm coming to your house. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you.
All right, let's go.
I'm going to your house.
Let's go right now.
I'm gonna cuddle the shit out of you, bro.
All right, bro.
I'm gonna cuddle you so hard that Yimmer's gonna show up, manifest himself, and he's like, "Hey, he's mine."
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be. It's so bad.
Oh, is that
You know what's funny? I'm like, when we're saying Yimmer's gonna be bad, Flo's gonna be standing there like, "Hey, can you guys like not for 2
Pretty
seconds?"
much.
For like literally 2 seconds. Just stop it. Dinner's ready. Okay. Yeah. So what are the good stuff do we have going on today? Are we getting ready?
We were talking about one of the things we said was Zelensky and blowing pipe and stuff.
Yeah, we were just talking about that a little bit. Ukraine being a pro-Ukrainian group being responsible for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline.
No, wait, what is this?
I
thought it was
hear about
straight up the
this?
CIA.
No, they straight up were posting articles like U.S. intelligence was like, yeah, actually it was probably a pro-Ukrainian group that blew up the pipeline.
Wait, what fucking like non-government group has the resources to, do a precision bombing?
Well, they didn't say non-government group, they said pro-Ukrainian group. So pro-Ukrainian group we established was clearly the CIA.
Oh, sure, okay.
Yeah.
Like John Otter in the chat, it's like, I can smell the mixture of your colognes from here. I'm like, it's BO from me, John.
Ooh.
Straight up.
Dude, I don't wear cologne. I should,
Versace.
maybe. Yeah, Ben does wear cologne. I could smell it.
Max got to smell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think we're I don't know how busy you are this summer, but like we're gonna do like some fucking mountain gun shit out in the in Utah or Wyoming or both.
That weird square we're fighting over. The states are just constantly slap fighting back and forth over that little like parcel.
That little panhandle of like Evanston and like Kremer.
Yeah.
Dude, I drove over the border on Saturday, and I was just like, wait, I passed over the border. Like Wyoming, I should say, Utah definitely has a different feel from Wyoming because all the roads have 3 digits in their fucking like name for no
100
reason.
100 south, 200 east. They're
now,
all that. Yeah.
Did you guys meet up in the middle?
No, like I was at work on Saturday. And he was
I straight up went to his workplace.
Yeah.
Wow. Just like showed up.
Yeah, right. I tried to sell him a ring, but he was like,
He's like out there.
I'm not quite there just yet.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
I'll hook you up with that financing, man. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Gonna work for your girl.
No, actually, you're like one of the people came out and was like, "Hey, can we help you?" And I was like, "Actually, I'm working with Ben."
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, there's this couple here to see you." And I was like, "What are they? Oh, what are their names?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't ask." And I was like, "Oh, great, thanks."
Dude, wait, you just like randomly stopped?
I invited them. They said they were driving through, and I was like, "If you guys want a quick diversion," because they were literally taking I-15, and where I work, it's like a 10-minute run up the road from the highway. So they just stopped in.
No, I knew we were passing very close, and so I sent a text like, "Hey, we're passing really close, and we're gonna stop for gas anyways, so like whatever."
I knew exactly where you were too. I was like, "Oh, if I text them now, they'll just hit the exit when they see my text."
I would have loved. Exactly. I would have loved.
And so like we came in and we're like, "Hey, actually, we're working with Ben. So we'll just we went and looked at minerals. We looked at the gems.
We had some pretty nice minerals, right?
A minute. My girlfriend is actually obsessed with gems and minerals. She loves rocks. And I love rocks too. I actually have a rock collection sitting on this bookshelf right here. But it's rocks I personally gathered from across Wyoming and Colorado and Utah and California and Montana.
Very cool.
and I have arranged in a rainbow spectrum, not gay wise, but just
No,
like
there's that.
it,
Can't not gay that.
Yeah.
how the fucking
No,
else am I supposed to organize my minerals by not by color?
alphabetical.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
They look better. They look better in color
fine.
sequential. Um.
Gay.
Anyways, yeah, we dropped in and like yeah, some guy was like, "I'm also looking for Ben," when I said that, and you took like 30 seconds to show up after that, like from the back. I don't know if you're
I
like
was like
still on.
eating. Oh god, what the hell was I eating?
Oh my god.
Pizza, I
The,
think.
the beer's hitting me because I'm like, was Evan looking for Ben?
Oh god, that would have
Was
been funny.
who looking for Ben?
Oh,
Well, private chat that shit.
private chat.
Oh,
Private
okay,
chat.
okay, okay. No, it was hilarious, and I got a kick out of all of the other employees there that were um doing the various jewelry store things that happen on a regular
Did
basis.
you see my two Mormon children? The blonde and the strawberry blonde dude.
Okay, yes, and I also saw as we were walking out was like the middle-aged but like had way too much gel in his hair for having white hair couple. I don't know if you worked with them.
I think so. Yeah, that
But they
sounds right.
looked like they were ready to spend some fucking money.
They did not, unfortunately.
Oh, fuck them.
Or they already
Right?
did and were picking it up. I don't really remember. That was a slow day. Like we didn't
Okay.
really have that many people in the store when you came in. I don't know if you noticed. Like we were just kind of just like,
No,
yeah.
I think yeah, there were like two people doing like a fitting basically.
Basically, yeah. It was.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, I feel bad cuz like I never buy jewelry basically.
Pores.
I bought.
See,
I
the
bought.
thing is I'm not poor because I
I
don't
know
buy jewelry.
exactly.
Here's what I talk to people like. I'm not getting like super financial, but I was like, I talk to people I was like, how do you guys have money and shit with like fucking all these kids? I'm like, because I don't buy stupid shit,
Exactly.
right? Like I don't fucking like buy one because I like to look, right? Like I've been looking at like do I want to build myself a new computer? Like no, I don't need it right now, right? Like I just tell them I'm like I don't need it, but I like to look. And shit.
I
Like I
feel
just
that.
don't do it. I know, like one of my buddies, he'll fucking be like, "Oh yeah, I don't like my computer anymore." Like after 6 months, and then blow money, and then his wife's like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" And
What
he's
the
like, "What?"
fuck?
He's like, "We could afford it," and they're like, and they have like they make a decent amount of money, like
Still though,
and like and it's still like, well, I think it's like, well, they got a lot of student debt,
mm,
for example, which I don't.
same.
My wife doesn't. I got a lot of shit like paid off, like because my wife's ring I think was like I bought that. Oh, the funny thing with my wife is that I could not just. The beauty of my relationship is I didn't propose. We were just like she was like we should get married, and I was like, all right, yeah, sounds good. And that was it.
Word.
There was no proposing. So and because she doesn't like being surprised, so she was like, all right, well, when we get the chance, we need to go into a jewelry store, and so I could pick out my ring. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool with me. Fine, fine. I'm like, this makes this way easier because if
That
I
actually
had to go in
happens
by
a
myself,
lot. Like the couples will just stop in and they've been talking about it for a minute and they just like impulse show up at my store and drop 8K and I'm just like, yeah, here you go, guys.
yeah, her ring was like 6K,
There you go.
I
All
think.
right. How long ago did you
Her
get this?
2017,
Good for you.
I think it was 2017. It was before we got married,
Yeah.
obviously. We're
I
2016,
like
2017.
I got to ask you, okay, my girlfriend's like obsessed like Moissanite's better than diamond.
Wrong.
Okay, so what is the definitive argument against Moissanite?
Okay, so the definitive argument against moissanite, by the way, is basically it's billed as like it's just as hard as diamonds and lasts just as long, and it doesn't. So on the hardness scale, diamonds are a 10. I've probably said this a couple times. Everybody learns this in earth science. Diamonds are a 10. They're the hardest material on the planet. The only thing that can scratch or chip a diamond is another diamond for the most part. Moissanites are a 9.25 or a 9.2. It kind of depends. They're like right in the middle. That's not like close. Like everyone's like, oh, that's just like that's not even a whole point away. Like that's a lot. Between 9.25 and 10, there's about 1,000 different places on the Mohs scale. What's very close to 9.25 is 9, which is what a sapphire is. And a sapphire is probably one of the more like commonly traded gemstones. Like little trade secret just for everybody who doesn't know this. Rubies are basically sapphires. Like there's blue sapphires and red sapphires of a certain color and hue are rubies. Emeralds are a distinct thing, but that's like one thing I learned recently about sapphires and rubies. But sapphires are probably the most common diamond alternative traded on the market right now because they're cheap as shit. Like I sell a carat white sapphire in any fucking shape anybody wants for like $100. Whereas a moissanite for a carat, if it's like a higher quality one, is probably going to be like 800-900, maybe 700. So the different
and then what about color?
Color it like if you look at a moissanite and you look at a diamond, like you can be like, okay, there's some differences there, but like they do look really close. But like when I look now is like I know what to look for, and the biggest thing is like moissanites look too perfect. And they usually come in like they're usually always like way too big for like what you would expect somebody that age or in that income bracket to have. Like if he works at like Best Buy and she works at Taco Bell and she's got a 2-carat stone, it's probably not a real diamond. It's probably a moissanite. The other thing too is like when you look at it real close, there's like nothing in it. It's just like this perfectly clear white stone with almost what looks like kind of a reflective bottom, which if you've ever looked at like old school mirrors kind of have that. But the other thing they do is they kind of throw like a purplish green color, like kind of like with my desktop light back there and like my background right now, it's like Barney the dinosaur a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing is like a white sapphire, if you wear it every day, will last you less than 10 years. On average, about 5 to 7. If you take really good care of it, maybe 7-8 years. It's going to wear down. It's going to chip. It's going to look like somebody just took sandpaper and just went because over time, that's what happens. With moissanite, the exact same thing happens, but you have a cost per carat thing with white sapphire or sapphire in general. You have $100 versus $700. So if the white sapphire chips or breaks, it's whatever. You're only out $100. You can replace it easy. If the moissanite chips or breaks, you're out $700. Or you can buy a diamond, which won't chip or break. And even if by chance it does, if you buy it from me, it's warranted forever.
Yeah.
But
my wife's got the warranty
I
on
don't
her
mean
shit.
specifically buying it from me in your instance, but I just meant like my company, which will not go named, does that because they know.
Fun fact.
I get what you're saying on that one.
Ben did name the company, but I edited it out.
Whoops! Thank you, Matt. Yes, I did not do that.
Yeah, right. All right, Ben, value this ring right now. Rose gold.
Rose gold.
Rose gold.
It's blurry as fuck. Is there a carat stamp on the inside?
Carat stamp? Probably not.
No, there's nothing in there that says 10K,
Maybe.
14K.
There's something on here. Hold on.
925, 10KP.
There's something. Hold on. Wait. I think that's a 10.
It says 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 10 carat. Do you know the millimeter size of it?
8.
8 millimeter wide?
Maybe.
Okay.
Could be. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Let me see it from the size. The side.
8 millimeter. Maybe no. 8 millimeter would be way small, right?
Let me see. No, hang on. No, like turn it on its side. Okay, yeah. Probably like 6-ish. Maybe 8. It could be like 8 millimeters.
Okay. So what's the price on it?
What ring size are you?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
How's ring size measured? Is it some arbitrary number? Or is
I don't know. I have ring sizers that I use, and they have numbers on them, and I put them on people's fingers, and I go, yeah, that's your size. That's how we calculate that. I don't know if there's any hard science.
Because when I said 8, I thought that was the ring size, and I'm like, no, that can't be right.
No, so it actually probably is 8 millimeters wide, but I would probably value that anywhere between like $600 to $900.
Okay, all right. Well, someone knows their job because this was supposed to be like an $800 ring.
Aha. Yep.
And,
Okay.
so what was funny is I it was supposed to be thinner. Like so when I ordered it, I ordered a $400 one that was thin.
Oh, don't be a bitch.
Like, well, no, just 'cause I'm like, who cares? I'm a man. I don't know, but like I'm wearing it at work, right? So I get scuffed up and shit. I don't want to spend a lot of money.
Hold on. You wore a gold ring and you worked with heavy machinery every day?
I take it off
Yeah.
at work.
Okay, about to say, man, you're just
Okay.
Yeah, I take it.
I
Well, no,
was
'cause-
about to say, like, when I'm outdoors, like, okay, my girlfriend's brother is married and he wears a breakable ring.
yeah.
Because like if he's rock climbing or skiing or something like that, you don't want to have a ring that will deglove your finger.
I just tell people to just get like silicone bands and just get like a gold ring for like fancy events and shit because like
Exactly.
the tungsten bands, I do sell them. They just don't hold value. They last a couple years, they break, that's it. Like
Right. Yeah. So yeah, silicone probably is fine.
Oh,
No.
so but with this thing, it was supposed to be a regular, like a standard, like thin fucking $400 ring, right?
Yeah, standard
But
comfort fit men's band, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was is I got a call like, oh your ring's in, but it's actually there's a price adjustment because we couldn't get the same one, and I already paid the $400.
Did they
right?
make you pay more?
No, I told them like if it's gonna be $400 more, you can cancel that, and I will go somewhere else. And then they
Good.
were like, oh no, that's fine. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'll be
Good.
there later to pick it up because I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm like, I already paid for it. I'm
That
like,
happens to me sometimes, and I love nothing more than to just tell my home office, no, sorry, I already sold it for this was what was promised. So if you're trying to tell me to charge them more, it's not happening. Like, sorry.
Yeah, no, they called me. It was like, yeah, it's gonna be like it's the bitch that called me didn't even know that I paid $400 already.
Wow.
She's like, oh yeah, like the price of it's $800. I'm like, I already paid $400 for this ring for a different one, and like, cause this one's like obviously it's thicker and shit. I was like, if you're like, I will go somewhere else because I know someone else has it, like the correct one that I ordered.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, I didn't even know what this one looked like until I went in. So I was like, fuck you. Like, like, oh no, that's fine. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, we can go fuck off. She's like, women. They should have had a man call me because he probably would have fought me, and then I would have went somewhere else.
Exactly.
I don't fuck around. I get the best deals.
It's very
because
true.
I am, yeah. Well, what was it? It was friend of the show, Michael. Was talking about when he was at a car dealership, like a car salesman or whatever. Because when I got my van, I got it for like, I think it was like fucking $8,000 under MSRP. Like ridiculous. He's like, how the fuck did you do that? Like him in the business questioned how I did that, and I was just like, I fucking pulled up some other location like an hour away that had it for like a stupidly low price, and I'm like, I'll go there. And they're like, okay, we'll match it. And I was like, there we go. That's what I need to hear. I'm like, I'll drive there, which was a lie. I wasn't gonna drive there because it was an hour away.
They didn't know that, so
yeah. So it was good. And I'd already walked away from that dealership a year before because they had me in the system.
Oh,
as
you were one of those customers. I hate you.
Yeah. Well, no, dude. Okay, so the first time I went in there on the phone, because I already had a contact there because my wife's parents bought a vehicle from this place, and they gave me this dude's number to call him because he was Polish and shit, like American-born Polish, whatever.
Wait, but, is your wife Polish then?
Yeah, my wife is 100% Polish. Her parents.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Yeah, nice.
So I had this guy. I'm like, I called him like, hey man, like, you need to be a good deal on a van, or oh no, actually at the time it was the SUV. It was what she wanted to get. We wanted to get a Forerunner or something. So we go in there because he's like, yeah man, we can do a great deal for you. Come on in and shit. I'm like, all right, maybe he'll give us a good deal because he apparently gave my father-in-law a good deal. So we go in and shit. I'm like, all right, this is what I can do and shit. Like, so that's your info. And he came back with like fucked up numbers. And I was like, this dude, not even close. Not even fucking close to what I asked for. And they were fucking me on the trade-in, like hard. I'm like, you told me on the phone that the Kelly Blue Book was good, and you're fucking like $6,000 under what that is. And I'm like, I know it's a fucking game. So they kept coming back, but they couldn't get it to where. And I walked in pre-approved from Capital One, FYI, for that. So I already had my pre-approval for shit. Like I was already ready to go, but they couldn't get it within the price range. And I know I can't get it. Like I already told him, I'm like, I know I can't get the monthly payment that I want, right? But I like it should be within a certain range. They weren't even fucking close to that. And like, oh, like, and I didn't want to extend the fucking years out, right? Like, I don't want to have a fucking 7-year car loan or whatever the highest one, 72-month and shit. Like, I want to have it like just a few years get paid off, like, and just do like a little interest and shit. And they weren't doing it. And then, but I had my fucking father-in-law there, and he doesn't speak English, so he's fucking speaking Polish to my wife. I'm getting frustrated because of like the whole fucking thing. I'm getting like a shitty deal from these guys. I got to get a fucking translation from my father-in-law, like from my wife, what my father-in-law is saying. And like everyone's getting heated. I'm like, fuck this, I'm leaving. And then some finance guy was like, dude, why are you going? I'm like, because I'm not having a good time right now. I'm not having a fucking good time. This should not be an experience to where I'm getting fucking aggravated. And the dude that I was fucking getting his face about was like twice my fucking height and like really big, really fucking big dude. I'm like, I'm not having a fucking good time right now. And I'm not gonna fucking stand here and have you tell me
not having a good time right now.
Like, bro, I'm totally not having like straight up not having a good time. You should have done that. You should have done the fucking little wiggly hand shit. Screw up, not having a good time. Because like the guy, when I left there, I'm like, it was like I met the dude at a bar. He probably would have punched me in the face for fucking talking to him like that. Because I was just so aggravated, mainly because my father-in-law, because he was getting pissed and I had no idea why. And so I'm already because I was already pissed about the deal. I'm pissed because he's pissed, and I don't know what, whatever. So I fucking told the guy, I'm like, I'll be back later, right? And because we were driving back to West Virginia in the next day, in the evening. So I'm like, I'm not fucking dealing with this shit. So I left, got home, like the father-in-law's house. Found out he was like, oh yeah, I got the van for a cheaper price than they were offering you or whatever, or the fucking car. And I was like, okay, cool, just say that. He's like, well, I didn't know if I could. I'm like, yeah, apparently you couldn't because you don't speak English, motherfucker. I was pissed. So, but they try to call me, like the dealership try to call me that next day, like, oh, we have a better deal for you. I'm like, I don't care, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I'm fucking gone. Like I'm leaving the state in like 4 hours. There's no way we're gonna have a fucking paperwork signed in time, and I'm gonna have to say another day, and you're gonna fucking dick me on the trade-in again. So fuck you. So that like the next year I went back and I saw like when the guy walked away, he had my page up, and I saw it was like whatever it was like. Oh, God, I can't remember the specific terminology, but it was like a fail or something, like bad sale or something, or like whatever the fuck in their system. Like maybe this work in my favor. Yep, I got fucking like 1.9% on the car. I got the trade-in wasn't perfect.
What year was this?
2020. At the end of 2020, which is funny. Which is funny because like the used car market was so fucked, where you can get a new car for cheaper
back then. Yeah.
I think it's not super fucked now, but it's still pretty fucked.
It's still pretty fucked.
Yeah. But so like I was like I probably could have got like $500 or $1,000 more on my trade-in, but it was close enough with the interest being so low. I was like, I don't care at this point. I just need a van. So it was good times. Good times. Always be a dick to car salesmen.
Always be a dick.
It's a business transaction. It's just like your job. You can fucking walk away if you don't think you're making what you need to make. Okay? That's all it comes down to.
And as always, in general, just stop being poor.
True. Stop being poor by negotiating.
Exactly.
Hard. So. All right, so where are we at? We're at like an hour and a half. We keep going? Yeah. We call it? I say we can call it.
Yeah, I'd say so. Been a good episode.
Good stuff.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us for another episode of The Altar. We hope you're well. We hope you are not watching congressional hearings, because fuck that. And as always, taxation is theft.